Hello everyone, and welcome back to Ash of God's Redemption, and let's just continue where we left off. Alright, and we are leaving Frigga with Hopper, Ake, and Rask. You've done all you had to do in Frigga. You need to leave the fortress before the enemy returns. Alright. It's no coincidence that all roads and paths lead to the water Menhir. It's the likeliest place for a chance meeting. Okay, so where is the waterman here? Ah, up there, okay. So, quickest way is basically there. So... there? Could do that as well, I suppose. Furrier's Village or the Bear Inn. Friend of animals. Furriers kill animals. Not really friends. Bear Inn sounds more like a friend of animals. At least to me. So let's go for that. The border road. This road demarcates Burkana's official border. Okay. Give in to the curse. Ooh boy. That's not good. 75% is pretty high. Ake grumbles, spotting an inn surrounded by a palisade. Maybe we should ditch that inn, huh? Get some shut-eye in the forest? Wouldn't be a first. I heard the inn's owner is a crazy Gabonan. That he's all buddy-buddy with the witches and talks to bears. Friend of the animals! Yes! Rask interrupts the giant. Bollocks, all of it. Bastich isn't crazy. Never saw a witch in his life. And his bear is tame. It's like an old family tradition of his. They love animals. He started all the rumors so that bandits would keep clear of the inn. Does he get a lot of customers, though? The inn's owner meets you beside the gate. He's got a gloomy countenance, but tries his best to be hospitable. After some talk, you learn the reason behind his sour mood. His bear is ill, and the usual potions aren't helping at all. You remember the clue about following those who consort with beasts? Quite obviously, it's a Bastich, but how can you help? You're no expert in healing animals, although they're not much different from humans. At least the potions the horse doctors use are quite similar. Well, definitely not that one. Well, I mean, it mentions potions there for horses, so offer a potion? You open the saddlebag, removing a potion you've saved for a rainy day. You talk Bastich into giving it to the bear. Strange as it may seem, the potion actually works, and the bear definitely feels better. His spirits lifted, the inn owner offers you a free stay and drinks on the house. I mean, we should probably not drink? It doesn't feel like a good thing to do in the situation we're in. At the same time, though, we don't really have the time to waste here. Even though we could use the rest, but I think I'm going to decline his offer. To Bastich's surprise and your companion's disdain, you say your goodbyes to Bastich and venture forth. Okay, that's not what I was hoping for. Well, that's annoying. That's another one messed up. Right. Well, maybe there's something in the bear glade. Although I think I just missed my chance. I don't want to waste time, though. Like, why would I want to stay? I mean, apart from resting. An odd weariness washes over you, as if it's been accumulating to the point of overflowing. You pull the glove from your blackened hand and look at it closely. You wouldn't be surprised if it crumbled into ash or began smoldering right now. Ake shrugs. Listen, Hopper, I'm a bit tired. If we don't take a break within the hour, I'm afraid I'll fall off my horse. You call out to Rask. He yawns and rubs his eyes, but he doesn't look like he's about to fall off his horse. Is it sorcery, Sherlon? You ask. Or fresh sap from some kind of sleeping grass? Ever since my hand has blackened, I've had trouble sensing the spells of others. Rask takes a sip from his flask and giggles. I've never been good at it, but why can't we set up camp and weave protective enchantments around it? We can catch up on sleep, something I've dreamt about. Can we stop in this clearing? Yeah, I don't really feel safe about stopping here, considering to ride a bit further. No, Sherlon, you should never simply accept what falls into your lap. Let's look for a lighter clearing. I'm not afraid of strange sorcery. I have a fairly good sense for it, but bright sunshine will make me feel better nevertheless. Rask takes another sip from his flask. There's one close by, a lighter clearing with bright sunshine flooding its center. We won't find a better place, Blance. Not a bad place to die, if I say so myself. Ake sullenly shakes his head. Answer me this, Hopper. Why do you call Rask Sherlon? And why does he call you Blance? Are they code names or something? As for me, I've always been Ake, nothing more, nothing less, and I'll be Ake until I die. Rask laughs so hard he almost falls off his saddle. My dear Ake, names are like clothes. Eventually you get tired of them and want something new. Would you mind if I take your name when you die? I quite like it. Ake. It has a nice ring to it. Ake's face breaks into a crooked smile. That's too bad. And what if I outlive you? Should I call myself Sherlon, then? Or Rask? I'm afraid my commander won't understand. You dismount and take a look around as you feed your trustworthy steed. Spring leaves rustle overhead, grasses crunch softly underfoot. Will you finally be able to rest? And where did the dream come from? Why have you started calling Rask by his real name? What's gnawing at you? The silence is unnerving. You know that you're asleep. You can't move no matter how hard you try. It feels as if your entire body has sprouted roots, tying you to the ground. You feel a sudden chill and open your eyes. Your companions are also immobilized. They look like melting wax effigies. Only Rask's beard sticks up stubbornly, and his gentle snoring wafts to the green vault of the forest. On a sunken lawn, you see a familiar figure. Hello? Come, sit. But don't you dare run. You're not like your friend Amma, no doubt. But you're a fast son of a bitch nonetheless. I'm tired of sorting this mess out. I've lost my physical body twice in the last month. Took an entire month to restore my former appearance. You already know that, don't you? How did you manage to bind me with your spells? They've never had power over me before. But wait, the magic of the grass. How can it be? How long have we been sleeping here? More than a day? You guessed right. Adna helped me. She imparted some of her abilities to me for a while. In any case, that's not the reason I'm here. I want to offer you a deal with terms you'll find favorable. Do you want to learn the secret of this reaping? Do you want to know how mortals resisted a reaper? Let's go for that one. I will never serve you, Atrak. I don't believe a single word you say. What's the point in even asking you? How can you make pacts with someone you don't trust? What are you plotting? Do you plan to destroy this world just like the last one? You're putting the cart before the horse. Fulfill your part of the bargain first, and you'll have your full explanation. In case you're thinking of backing out, know that you won't be able to. Just like your unfortunate friend here, you're too firmly affixed to your physical body. A sprout pierces your hand, painting it with blood. Nakoma gets to his feet and changes his appearance, then sends a root hurtling at Rask. It turns into a wooden dagger mid-flight and pierces your friend's chest. He writhes in fatal agony. Okay. You always have to meddle or reproduce uncontrollably like your friend Karbuff. He's also a wanderer who will meet the same end. You'll see. He'll go all the way to Opacum attempting to save his progeny. He's Hater League's best warrior now. Poor sod. The death of an umbra, even someone like Sherlin, is exhilarating. Before you die, listen to me. I'm not asking you to betray anyone, though you've already betrayed Sherlin. I'm not even asking you to kill wretched mortals. All you need to do is be a witness, watch and record. Adna's root, still sleek with Rask's blood, is in the Reaper's hands again. You try to dodge it, but it presses to your chest, almost piercing it. You scream in pain. Okay. What do you want from me, Atrak? Not much. Go to Opacum and do what you intend to do. Look around and commit what you see to memory, and write it down. That's all. The gods will reward you, and not just them. I'll personally ensure that you meet your heart's desire in Opacum. I agree. But wait. Who am I supposed to meet in Opacum? What heart's desire are you talking about? Atrak does not reply. As his silhouette dissolves into thin air, as the slough of grass swallows up Sherlin's hollow carcass, and as Ake comes to his senses, you wonder whether you've become a slave again, or not yet? Why didn't you feel your friend's death? Could Atrak have taken Rask's spirit? Why would he? And why was Karbuff's name mentioned? You'll ponder all this later. You have to carry on with your journey now. You have to think of a way to explain Rask's disappearance. A bit surprised that the curse didn't go up, but oh well. Let's continue to River Rock. Oh boy. You camp for the night and try to get some sleep, but Ake keeps pestering you. The giant warrior begins with a story about Isanan temple servants who scatter and hide when the Primarch of the Temple of Divine Retribution leaves his bedchamber. What scares them isn't the Divine Retribution, but the prospect of being summoned into said bedchamber. I guess that. Tell Ake about the old religion of Terminum? Maybe? I feel like one of those two, but I'm not sure, really. I mean, I have been doing that at times. Or, well, Hopper himself has. Sure. You sigh and tear Ake's story to pieces. First of all, the Primarch doesn't have a bedchamber in the Temple of Divine Retribution. He resides in his villa and only occasionally visits the temple. Secondly, there is nowhere to hide in the temple, no hallways and no dark corners. Finally, you don't care who's afraid of the Primarch because no one has even seen him in a very long time. Ake scowls and doesn't talk to you for half a day. Probably should have chosen the other one, but whatever. There's no loyalty thing with him, so let's go. Alright. You approach the campground that hunters consider the best place to rest in this part of the forest. Few of them realize that the exhilaration and strength that fills them here, and even heals them, doesn't come from lake water, but from the men here serving as a bridge to a tiny island. They say that it doesn't absorb poison even during the reaping. Now's your chance to put that claim to the test. You remember Lon's words. You try to picture the witch who enticed you with riddles and promises of lifting the curse, forcing you to wander the roads of Terminum. You miss Sherlin Rask, the only one among your kin whom you consider a friend. Even then, he didn't tell you what happened many years ago when he became permanently attached to his physical body and the ashen wasteland came into being. Huge Vandal pines give way to low fir trees. A waft of fresh air carries the scent of water. Seagulls glide overhead. There's a glint of water beyond the tree trunks, but the scent of reeds is laced with the smell of blood. The clearing looks like a scene of a recent battle. The island is here. You get off your horse and lean over to examine the ground. Ake whistles in appreciation of the lake's expansiveness, the island with the ruins, the stones jutting out of the water, and the forest wall on the opposite side. Now that's something. I've never been here before, though I've heard about an island favored by hunters and fishermen alike. They've probably trashed the place. What have you found on the ground there, Hopper? You straighten yourself. Oh, it's nothing. Let's set up camp on the island, shall we? Ake dismounts, shaking his head in disbelief. Apart from being a healer, a bookworm, and a sorcerer, you're a tracker now? I can't read the prints, but for some reason I don't see any blood, or bodies for that matter. You shrug. Just a matter of habit. The bodies could have been dumped in the water. If you search by the little dam where the river flows from the lake, you'll probably find them. I don't recommend drinking the water. We'll take a break for a couple of hours and carry on. You hear no response and turn to see Ake sinking into the tall grass at the water's edge. Dull green blades entangle his feet and the legs of his horse. Don't kill him, Adna, you say before turning to face the island again. He's done you no wrong. On the other side of the bridge, Adna smirks maliciously. I don't care for scurvy mortals. I need you, Blans. Come here. Don't be afraid. You're rooted to the ground. Adna, the bane of the Vandal forest, the Umbra overseer and the killer of their offspring, has come to converse with you, or kill you, just like she killed Sherlin by Nakoma's hands, having charmed the poor fellow with her magic. What do you want, Adna? To send me where you sent Sherlin? Why did you do it? What are you plotting with Dorpkal and Atrak? And this is a reaping, Blans. They happen sometimes. It's not my fault that Sherlin no longer exists, but his own. He dabbled in ancient magic and got trapped in that body. As for Nakoma, he likes to have fun. I lent my sword, but now I have it back. How are you going to use it against me? I haven't heard an answer yet. What do you want from me? You'll answer a couple of questions for me first. What kind of curse grips your hand? Who is the sorceress bewitching your path? And where are you headed? Well, let's start at the top. I don't know what the nature of this curse is. Yet it overpowers you, Blans. Binds you to this body, making you mortal. It also consumes you, though it's linked to the reaping somehow. Curious spellcraft indeed. I don't know anything about that. This curse is like a blindfold. I feel like I'm wearing a leaden suit of armor that grows heavier with each step. What business is it of yours? Everything concerns me. The curse grows heavier because it absorbs the reaping, sapping its power. That's why I'm so interested. but you won't last long at this rate. As for your blindness, we'll put it to the test soon enough. No umbra can diminish the reaping's power, so I'm not holding my breath. As you can see, it's pointless to kill me. I don't know who this sorceress is. There must be a connection between you. Everything happens for a reason. I sensed her behind Frigga's walls, but I couldn't get closer. She's much too young to be a simple witch, too strong even for the one I had initially taken her for. I don't know who you're referring to, but what did you want to ask her? Why is someone ruining your precious reaping? Who's interfering with your plans and saving people from insanity? I told you, I don't care about wretched mortals, as long as they suffer and die when I need them to. The witch, on the other hand, she cares. That stumps me. Even you don't give a damn about humans. Let me decide for myself who I give a damn about. I'm going to Opacum. Yes, I've heard of it. The only pure place left in Burkana. So far, that is. You've already chosen the right path. It was an easy choice to make. There was no other path laid out before you, after all. You're plotting something too. Is Coronson on your side? Why are you having everyone gather at Opacum? What's wrong with this reaping? Answer me. We're all in the same boat, whether you agree or not. Your opinion is of no consequence. Don't forget your place. A servant of a servant, a vassal, a blank slate, a messenger, a courier. Are you so arrogant that you think that you're human? What are you saying? Deeming oneself a wretched mortal is tantamount to arrogance to you? Fine. In that case, I so call myself a wretched mortal. I have nothing else to tell you, Adna. I have something to tell you, Blance. I don't know who that witch is, but if the gods granted her power, it's them that she serves. It makes sense for me to help her. That's why I've met you here. Do you know what you have to do? I don't have to do anything. I'm trying to make sense of the reaping, even if you consider that a wild goose chase. I'm also going to Opacum to meet someone, if they're there, that is. There's one person you'd be thrilled to see, but I won't spoil the surprise. Whatever you say. What else do you want from me? Can I go now? What were you going to say about Amma? You're looking for a squad led by someone called Thorn, aren't you? You may still catch him, even overtake him, if you put your mind to it. I don't know why this witch drives you to Opacum, but I advise you to make it to the fort. It'll be a sight to behold. Amma was here, but she left for Opacum. Her fate will be decided there. Perchance yours too, Blance. Amma is a seeress. Do you think she'd go to Opacum if something were threatening her? Her prophecies aren't set in stone. Curses. She vanished. I didn't get a chance to ask her. Thank the gods, it seems she's called off her sorcery. Adna's spell dissipates along with its caster. Ake's horse shivers. The giant gets onto his feet, shaking off sudden drowsiness. Yawning, dejected about his weakness, he goes to the water's edge and rinses his face. He is frustrated by the senselessness of staying in this enchanted place any longer. You take one final look around in case Adna's been hiding somewhere in the ruins. You step onto the bridge, stoop down, and touch the menhir's wet edge. You feel a rush of exhilaration and strength, but your hand remains black. The water menhir can't cure everything, but at least it's not full of poison. I take it we're not resting here? Ake asks as he mounts his horse. It's a fine spot, but spooky. My ears are ringing. I've never cared much for sorcery personally. Shall we get going? You nod in agreement. It seems like Ake is sensitive to magic. What are you sensitive to? The voice ringing in your ears is that of the high umbra you like least of all. Adna, the mistress of the forest and grasses. She can bend the will of any living creature, but not yours." "You cannot see me, but I'm still here," she hisses. "I have a message for you from that witch. Find those loathed by all, and you will know all that was and all that will be, all that could have been and all that can be." That's all she said, which, in turn, I tell you, purely out of curiosity. The unknown entices me. The ones loathed by all. After a pause, Adna continues. "Now there is something I want you to relay to Karbath, or whatever he's called now. Druer, Druket, Mabok." "What? Then he killed himself." "What? Or something else. I'm sure he'll show up in Opacum, or I guess he could have taken over the body. I killed many of his offspring, who will now serve our purpose. Please bow before him. He's done a magnificent job spreading seeds infused with umbra essence." You rub your temples and shake your head. Ake looks at you quizzically. You nudge your horse. It seems better to get away from the watermen here as soon as possible. After all, there are many roads leading to Opacum. Okay, there aren't too many roads to choose from, but only those that lead to Opacum might offer salvation. Well, I am going to end this episode here. Thank you so much for watching. Please consider leaving a like and subscribe, and I will see you next time. Bye!